Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night, guys. Wherever you are, I just want to say good morning, and I hope you all have a blessed and a peaceful day today. So, guys, this morning I wake up and I didn't have anything in mind what I want to do for breakfast. But when I go in the kitchen and I start to look around, I decide that I could do some fried dumplings and some codfish. But before I do the codfish, I was thinking about fried dumpling and some corn porridge because I love fried dumpling and porridge together. But after that now, I say, you know what? Let's just do the fried dumpling and saltfish. Maybe some of you guys maybe know it as codfish, but we call it saltfish back home. So I just take out some flour out of the pantry and I knead it and make flour dough. The flour that I'm using, it's a self-rising flour, so you don't need to add any salt, any butter, any baking powder, nothing. Everything is already into the flour. So I just decided to take the flour out, make some dough, put it to set, and then I just go in the fridge, take out my codfish, because guys, I keep my codfish in the fridge. Reason why I keep it in the fridge is sometimes when I have it out, like into one of the locker, into anything, once I have it out, the salt intend to melt. And I don't like when my saltfish, when the salt melts. I don't like when it's wet. Because once the salt start to melt from off the fish, it's gonna give it that wet look, and I don't like that. So I keep my saltfish in the refrigerator. I keep my salt mackerel in the refrigerator. Anything to do with salt, I keep it in the refrigerator. The only thing I don't put in the refrigerator is like if I have like pigtail, I won't put that. And the reason why I don't put that, it's because the pigtail come into a bucket by itself with the sea salt and everything, so I can lock it away. But anything else like saltfish, salt mackerel, red herring, I keep them in my fridge. But I make sure wrap them properly, into bags, and I also leave them into the same package that I buy it in. So I decided to take out the saltfish, wash the excess salt off, and get some water, put it on the fire. And so while the saltfish is there, about to start boil, doing its own thing, I decide to get some red onion and a tomato. And guys, I should let you know, I only have one tomato on the board, but after I finish cut up that one tomato, I look and I said, oops, I think it's gonna need more. So I take out another one and I cut it, but I did it off camera. The extra tomato, I did it off camera. So I get my tomato and my onion well put together while the saltfish is on the fire doing its own thing. So I cut up everything that I can cut. Guys, I didn't have any sweet pepper or bell pepper, whichever one you call it, because normally I love to put those things into my saltfish, like all colors, the red, the green, the orange, and the yellow bell peppers or sweet pepper. I always like to put those into my codfish, but I didn't have any at the time, So what I did, I just stripped my onion, clean up my onion and my tomato, and get them properly washed. And then I just start to cut them, slice them up, and put them aside, prepare them ahead so that I can have it to use to cook my saltfish. So after I finish slice up everything, you know, put everything together, I went back and I look in the fridge, guys. I did not have no scotch bonnet pepper. Normally when I buy pepper, I will buy the pepper by the pack, but I don't really use it on a regular basis. So when I go back, sometimes they are going bad. So what I realize I have to start doing with my scotch bonnet peppers, whenever I buy them, if I'm not going to use them up on time, I need to store them in the freezer. Because once you store your stuff in the freezer, you will always have them to use another day. I normally store my bell peppers in the freezer, but I've never stored my scotch bonnet pepper in the freezer. So I think I'm going to start doing that, because when my stuff go bad and when I'm ready to use them, there's none. But those pepper that goes bad, they were into like a dish, they were locked into a dish. So it's not like I opened the fridge and I could look and see them. No, they were locked into the dish. So I didn't know that they would go bad so quickly while locked away. So anyway, I didn't have any scotch bonnet pepper. So I didn't cut any, and I also did not have any bell pepper. So girl, use what you have. So just my onion and my tomato, and then after that you will see the other process of what and what I put to my saltfish. So right now I'm gonna fry some dumpling, and as you can see guys, I'm using the real coconut oil. This oil sleep. The time is so cold guys, the oil just keep sleeping. The only oil I have that doesn't sleep is the olive oil. But I didn't feel to use any olive oil this morning to cook with. I said, you know what? I have this coconut oil in the pantry for how long? Let's take it out and just use it to fry dumplings. And I'm telling you, when you use coconut oil to fry your dumplings or to even cook your codfish or your whatever you want to cook, guys, it gives the food a flavor that you will always love, that you will never forget when you use coconut oil. So I decided to use it to fry my dumpling. And as you can see, the codfish, it's there doing its own thing, minding its own business, right? And those are what I cut up the tomato on the onion. So now I decided to make some tea. What kind of tea I'm going to make, I'm not sure, but I'm just putting the water in the kettle, put it aside. I'm a girl that I love herbal tea. I don't really like milk tea, so I guess I'm going to do something with herbals, right? So yeah, just put the kettle on and let it stay there and boil. This kettle boil up so quick, but I don't have to reheat the water because it keeps the water temperature, so I don't have to reheat it. So leave the kettle there and let it stay there and boil. And then I'm going to go over now and start by making my dumplings. Yeah, and right now the dough is so nice, fluffy and soft. So when these dumplings finish fry, guys, oh my god, they're gonna be so soft and nice. So this is how I always do it. Whenever I'm gonna fry my dumpling, I always knead my flour, put it aside, and let it stay there and set. So you see, once you do that, guys, once you put your flour to set, trust me, you're gonna have some nice fluffy dumpling. So that's what I did. So now I'm gonna turn those dumplings because I don't want them to be too dark. You know, that nice golden brown, that's what you're looking for. Yeah, that's the color that we want to achieve, that nice golden brown. So now I finished turning my dumplings. I'm gonna cover them. And guys, when you cover your dumpling, when you're frying your dumplings and you cover them, you know, the steam from that steam, that sweat from that pot cover, it also go in and it also helps to cook the inside of the dumpling very well. So don't wonder why I covered it. When you cover it, it cooks it very well, and it also lets your dumpling soft and nice. Doesn't hard. It's not hard, right? So that's the best thing. That's the best way to fry dumpling. Maybe, I'm not sure for you, but for me, that's the perfect way for me to fry my dumpling, by covering the pot, right? I grew up and see my parents do that, cover the pot when they're frying dumpling, and I do the same. And I never go wrong when I cover my pot with my fried dumpling. So now I finish fried the dumplings. I make sure put my codfish, turn the pipe on and cool it down. I make sure pour the hot water out in the sink, and I catch the cold tap water on it so it can cool down the fish, so I can get to, you know, clean up the fish much better, take off all those scales and, you know, all those fine bones and everything that I don't want. I make sure to get rid of all of that from the fish, get rid of the tail. You see that big fish tail there? Oh my God. So yeah, I make sure get rid of all of that. And then, yeah, I pick up my fish. Guys, I pick up my fish in water. I pick it up in water because, you know, sometimes when you boil your saltfish, when you boil it, sometimes it is still salt, especially if the saltfish is thick. You know, if it's very thick, it's gonna hold that salt on the inside. Yeah. So you see all that bone? I don't throw the main bone. I keep the main bones in. But for the other fine rib cage bone, yes, I get rid of those because I want to enjoy my meal. So I pick up my saltfish into, and that's the extra tomato there, guys, on the top that I told you that I did off camera. So I pick up my saltfish into the water to make sure I get rid of all those excess salt. And then after that, guys, I'm going to start to saute all my seasoning. So what I'm doing now, I'm just pouring some minced garlic into the pot. I could put it in the oil before I put the tomato and the onion, but I chose not to. I chose to do it that way. And then I'm just putting some crushed pepper. That's the pepper that I have because, as I said before, the Scotch bonnet pepper that I had is in the fridge. It go bad, so I have to turn to my crushed pepper. So guys, what I'm doing now, I'm just gonna put the saltfish into the saute seasoning, and yeah, go ahead and start to cook up my saltfish. And guys, I'm telling you, when I finish all this codfish and fried dumpling, oh my goodness. Now I'm just adding some black pepper, right? Just some added black pepper just to give the fish that nice nice flavor, nice taste, just to enhance the flavor of the saltfish. And then I'm also going to add another seasoning. Guys, I get that seasoning, that's the one, ackee and saltfish seasoning. Guys, when you use that on your ackee or your saltfish, I'm telling you, you will eat the entire pot of fish. So I get that ackee and saltfish seasoning. I think I get it to buy in the Key Food supermarket. Guys, that seasoning is the bomb. Yeah. So put everything in the pot. I covered it so that the saltfish can catch the flavor of all those seasoning, everything, combined together to give you that nice taste. So finish off with all those. Turn down the stove low for it to simmer a little bit. Now it's time for me to make our tea. So yeah, I'm just doing 2 cups of tea right there. So I'm using lemon and orange. One of them is orange and the other one is lemon. So I always love that orange tea. Even if you're using the lemon, not the lemon, sorry, I'm using the lemongrass. Lemongrass, which is the same as fever grass. So when you use the fever grass only, it doesn't give me that taste that I'm looking for. So I always choose to put something else to it to enhance the taste. So that's the reason why I do the lemongrass and also the orange together. Now I'm just going to add some honey, and I'm just going to add the honey to only 1 cup because for me, I don't take sugar, I don't take honey, I don't take nothing sweet. I'm just a girl that, try to be on the healthier side. Because of my weight, I try to stay away from sugars and carbs. Even although I'm doing the fried dumpling, yes, I will eat that food, but when eat it now, I won't have it again for another long time. But why eating carbs and then take sugar? Because carbs is going to break down to sugar, right? So I cannot put both of them in my body at the same time. So I won't take any honey for myself. So my tea is fresh. Okay? So now it's time for me to share. So now I'm doing the share of the breakfast. So I'm just putting a few dumplings in the plate. And yes, I'm using a paper plate because when I finish, I don't want no lots of plate to wash. I can't be bothered with that. So yeah, so that's the breakfast. Yeah, and that's the end of my fried dumpling and saltfish breakfast. Guys, I hope you do enjoy watching my video. And if you reach so far in the video, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, touch that like button, make a comment, and remember to subscribe. Okay, so whenever I drop another video, guys, you will be the first person to see when I drop another video. Have a great day. Love you. God bless.